الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب واحلم يجل له يواجه أتمدوه سبحانه وتعالى وأشكره وهو أمر حمد وثانا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله ومصطفى اللهم صل وسلم عليك رسولك محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم. Alhamdulillah bil alamin. We thank Allah Almighty. Subhanallah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Walillahi alhamd. You know, as children, we all have dreams of doing things, and while we're dreaming, we see examples of those people we want to be like. And so those who want to be actors, they look at actors and study actors. Those who want to be athletes, they study and look at athletes. Those who want to be whatever it is that they want to be, they look at and they try to emulate those people. And if they are fortunate enough and they are persistent enough, then they work hard, very, very hard at those dreams to position themselves to be able to get closer and closer to their dreams. It's an amazing and a very powerful process if someone is invited to participate with those people whom they admire and who they look up to. Say, for instance, for an example, an athlete that has done well in previous years and was invited to try out for a professional team, say for football, and they try out for that team, they're invited to try out. And they get the playbooks and they are in the environment, and every day they have a coach that's coaching them, and they're going over that they are studying, and then that coach is going over them and they're able to apply it and work. Because they are very, very interested in what it is they have been dreaming all of their lives. Now they're in the environment with people who are doing that they are been dreaming about, and so their mentality is not a questioning mentality of what they doing or why they doing this, and they're thinking, functioning, they're hearing, and they are listening and applying everything. They are wide open to everything, everywhere, taking it in. And they're studying day and night. And all they want to do is just get better. All they want to do is just be accepted and be for the goodness, the things that they're training to be good at. And when they're able to go out and their coach is saying, yes, you're getting it. Yes, I see that you're studying the books. I see that you're applying. I see that you're giving your all. And look, you are helping. You are being a help. And you're bringing about a better team. And everyone needs that in every endeavor that we take. No one is an island. Everyone needs, first of all, they need to dream dreams. And not only do they need to dream, they need to have a scheme or a plan in which to fulfill that. Where does that come from? Where does that come from? See, because we're all are born here for a reason. And we, since we did not create thoughts, we didn't even create ourselves, we're on loan to ourselves. Those that get that and they pursue that, and those who pursue that, do you think that they are distracted, the ones that actually reach and actually become very, very good and very, very excellent and powerful? Do you think that they have trials and tribulations? Do you think they have difficulties? Do you think someone is telling them that they're crazy and that they should be doing something else and you're wasting your time? Do you think they have trials and tribulations? See, Allah Almighty, wisdom is, do you know the you that I know? Do you know the you that I know? And to help you along to know the you that I know, I'm going to give you all kinds of situations. See, one thing about it, reason we have 73 different sects of Muslims is because somewhere along the line, we really forgot the who that Allah Almighty knows in us. So when Allah Almighty says, being erased for all that is good, we think that that's all something material. And yet there is a competition, because competition is in every being. Worshipping is in every being. Submission is in every being. But to what? But to what? In the 73 different sects of Muslims, not to mention the different sects, the 72 different sects of Jews, or the 71 different sects of Christians, only one on the right way. Because when Allah Almighty said, be in a race for all that is good, no matter what you are in a race in, what kind of competition you're in, you're going to have opposition to whatever it is. Whatever it is, you're going to be in a competition. And so, those people whom they said from childhood, I just want to be guided. Where's Allah? Who is Allah? I'm hearing about some being that controls everything, that brings people into life and takes them out of life. Who is that being? Maybe somebody else is saying, I want to be a great football player. I want to be a great boxer or a great singer. I want to be a great actor. I want to be a great whatever. But what you seek seeks you. It seeks you. And Allah says, okay, be in a race. But we're in a race when there are 73 different sects of Muslims. And to be in a race to win but you lose is a horrible thing. Esau ibn Maryam says, why gain the world and lose your soul? There's a race for that. In order to acquire and to pile up the things of this life, you have to compete for it. There are trials and tribulations. There are two reasons why things come on us. Allah is always trying to teach. Don't you know we learn more through the difficulties of life than we learn through the good things of life? People are more apt to work harder based on the things that they stand to gain that they stand to lose than they stand to gain. All you got to do is tell somebody is, if you don't do this, you're going to lose this. Or if you tell them you're going to gain that, then they get relaxed. This is the nature of the nafs. This is the nature of the nafs. And this is how you can tell if someone is seeking their Lord or if they are seeking this world. Those people whom they seek guidance, like someone who seeks the material things or an athlete, at some point in time, that athlete or whatever or whomever is seeking anything of this world, at some point in time, they're going to be satisfied that they have reached their goals. And you hear him, he says, I didn't know I made it until such and such and such. That's when I knew that I made it. And so now they talk about it. And so now what? They've achieved that. Now what? They're still here. Now what? See, dunya has its wisdom. Allah allowed it to see who was going to be best in conduct. We're all here in a race, but what race? What race are we in? What are we seeking really? So you have to understand something that most people don't even get until they're in the ground. That to be guided to one's Lord is more valuable than your existence. Because if your existence is without guidance, the existence is in vain. If you gain everything in this world and you become the most famous creature from east to west, north to south, and when you get put in the ground, that's what Alexander the Great said. The great Alexander has conquered the east and the west, the north and the south. But pull the great Alexander's hand out of his coffin so people can see that the great Alexander leaves this world with nothing in his hand. This is wisdom. This is wisdom. But the great Alexander, yes, he was saying he leaves with nothing of this world. But the great Alexander had wisdom. He was leaving something. He was not leaving empty-hearted, empty-handed. This was the wisdom. He was saying to those people, if you want to be like me, remember that if you're seeking this world and only this world, when you leave this world, you leave nothing with you. You take nothing with you. But if you gain the purpose of your existence, the reason for your Creator having you in the mind and to allow you, that sperm drop, to hit the egg, to come in existence, to be known to yourself, and to know your Lord in yourself, you have reached the highest of achievements, the full moon. To have the good of this life and the good of the next life in this life and be defended from the torment of the hell fire. Those people are on right guidance. They're on right guidance. Because what they pursued, even though Allah Almighty put them in jobs, they had jobs. And they worked on jobs. They had families. They were still looking for something more than this. Yes, they had responsibilities. They had to eat, sleep, and drink like everyone else. But there still was something more than this. People recognized them for the good that they did and the achievements that they had. And they were given accolades and awards and rewards for their achievement in terms of helping humanity. But they were feeling there's something more to this life than this. Their hearts were working. Their hearts were awakened. And they were seeing beyond this world. They were feeling beyond this world. They were seeing beyond this world. But what were they seeing? They were believing and trusting that there had to be something more than this. I remember when I was coming up, I'm coming up in apostolic church, going to a Catholic high school, coming up in an African Methodist college. And I'm in church 7 days a week. Then I go to Catholic school and I'm in mass every day. Still, it was not enough. Going to the mosque, listening to the imam tell us, like the ministers told us, like the priest told us, reading from the Bible, reading from the Quran, telling us the words of Allah Almighty, giving us the tradition of the Prophet, peace be upon him. Still, it was not enough. Going in a place, not being able to speak the language, not knowing so much of the culture, in the ruins of a third world country, to find guidance, in a place no one would have ever dreamed. To find some place, to find one's self, not in a land being raised in, but a land that wasn't even known existed. And a people that didn't even know it was existed. And in reality, in those places that wasn't even known existed. But to seek Allah Almighty, you don't know where Allah Almighty is going to reveal himself. Whatever you seek, seeks you. It's justice. It's justice. If you are unhappy with where you are mentally, if you are unhappy of where you are physically, if you are unhappy of where you are spiritually, to this point, that's what you have sought, and that's what you get. See, when Allah Almighty sent the prophets, may Allah be pleased with them, Allah Almighty sent them specifically for those who were seeking Him. They were seeking Allah Almighty, the unseen. They themselves were seeking the unseen, and Allah Almighty gave them the unseen, and they saw the unseen, and Allah Almighty held them responsible. Now you go back and get your brothers and your sisters that are seeking what you have sought and what you have found. Yeah. So when they come on the scene, it ain't nothing normal about that. Everybody can see the scene. Shaitan can look at the Bible and read the words of the Bible, read the words of the Quran, read the hadiths. Anybody can read it, they can read. What is the distinction? So when you come around those people, it ain't normal. It ain't ordinary. Shaitan is going to come on you from his anger, because he doesn't want any adversaries, because he's already claimed that he has superiority over human beings. And Allah Almighty tricked him. He allowed him to trick Satan. To trick Adam and Eve. That was seeing him and seeing their Lord. Now what he cannot understand is how is it he cannot trick those that cannot see their Lord, cannot see, that have never seen the prophet. Because what you seek seeks you. When you're seeking your Lord, it's like a Hajj. And when you're going on a Hajj to the Lord, to the power of the Lord of power, the Lord of power, Allah Almighty sends out a regiment of the unseen to protect you from that you fear, so you can continue on your way. Allah Almighty will make your way to bliss easy if you're seeking Him. Our way to becoming someone famous or some athlete or whatever will be difficult with no bliss, no protection, because we're seeking dunya. Now, if Allah Almighty is raising you and taking you through that so He may use you to use dunya to bring people to Him, that's something else. But don't think it's going to be a normal occurrence, those people that were around the prophets. They talked about the prophets like dogs. They said that all the prophets were possessed. They said that all of them were crazy. And the last thing they said, they were magicians. They do some strange stuff. Some strange things be happening around them. Which is true. They're not normal. How can they be normal to come to people, to be able to clean people in areas that they cannot clean themselves? We can wash our faces and wash our bodies. Wash every part of our body. And we can think good thoughts to change our thinking. But when it comes to that part of us that's connected to everything, you must know that's going to be the most blocked and the filthiest place in all of our being. Because that is where Shaitan lays on the straight way to make sure that that secret is never open. So those who are seeking their Lord, as they begin to pursue their Lord, saying, I don't know that there is a Lord, but something's got to be greater than this. Somebody is doing something somewhere. Man cannot be up there making the sun change and set and rise. Man cannot be making the stars and the galaxies. Man cannot be making sperm drops become adversaries or thinking and to do things. There has to be something above man. These are thinkers. Everybody's not thinkers. Most people choose just to react. Even to think is rare. Yes, we can read something and we can think about what we read, but our mind is only what we read. But to think about the unthinkable is something someone is bringing and giving an invitation. It is saying, yes, you are asking for real faith. So, I'm going to step by step through a process, keep the conversation going. Keep the journey going till you reach. Yes, there will be storms. There will be all kinds of trials and tribulations. But when you reach to you, all things will be given unto you. Now you will see what was seen before you saw the unseen. Now you'll see the seen and you'll see the unseen. And you'll know that when Allah Almighty sent guidance, it was for those like you. And then there are those who are like you that you have to go to. Will it be difficult? It would be the most difficult thing one could ever imagine. How do you help someone to see what they cannot see? Or to be what they have no idea or imagination that they have been created to be? It must be something much more powerful than they themselves to give support to do that. That's why when you are around those people, it's going to be different. Those who are able to withstand the trials and tribulations, like a piece of coal that is only used for burning fire. Coal is the only fuel for fire. Allah says, if I gave you what you really deserve, no one would get anything. But we are fuel for fire until we are able to resist the trials and tribulations and the heat and pressure of our adversary. To stay long enough to hang in there with persistence and determination, not listening to anything other than the guidance that's reaching us. To become a diamond. Once we're reaching that diamond, Allah Almighty sends a diamond cutter to us. The prophets were diamond cutters. And they were able to, they come and they look for diamonds. They only look for treasures. They don't go to the seashore and pick up shells and have a whole bag of shells. They go deep, deep, deep into the ocean looking for red gems and pearls. Because they've been trained to do that. They don't waste their power. They don't use an axe to remove a splinter. They use their full power so that Allah Almighty will give them more power. They exhaust that Allah Almighty gives them so they can be renewed with more power. And a whole awakening always happening. It's a new life all the time with them. Even when they're in their physical bodies like us walking around here eating at McDonald's or wherever we eat. They are on true guidance from their Lord. And they have a protection on them. And their only prayer is, oh Allah, save us from that we fear. So they may grow with confidence. So they won't grieve or fear in pursuing Allah Almighty. Because when you're pursuing Allah Almighty, don't you just think the biggest and the worst things are going to come on you? You're going to have the best, because everything, Allah Almighty, and when the thing is, when you are attacked by those things, they have to know, and these are shaitanic, they have to know that they are inferior to Allah's protection, and you have not even become who you were supposed to be, but you are inferior, they are inferior to His protection.
Takbir! Allahu Akbar! Takbir! Allahu Akbar! Takbir! Allahu Akbar! Ha!
They can't sway you day and night, you're pursuing. You're around people are rejecting. People are cursing you. People are attacking you. People don't know you. They're saying things about you. But you realize that they're ignorant. They're ignorant. They're in darkness. And the only way they can know and see and to be is that you continue for your Lord. That is the only way, because you can't have a conversation with them for them to know. They have to see you transform from a caterpillar to a butterfly. And they have to know that I also am a caterpillar crawling on here. I might get stepped on anytime. I can't even raise my neck so high. But I have the ability to be a butterfly. Which are the favors of your Lord will you deny? This is the great month of Shaban. The month of the beloved Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Angels are not writing our deeds. Only the Prophet, peace be upon him, is writing our deeds. Allah Almighty wanted to be known, so He created, first of all, beloved Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the first light. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. And created everything from His light. For His sake, we are in existence. Do you just think that He won't be known to everyone, from east to west, to north to south? So we may show gratitude to that one that enabled us to be in existence. Allah Almighty told all the angels, all the jinn, all men, Allah Almighty praise Him. Allah praises the Prophet, peace be upon him. Who is Allah praising? Allah is praising Himself. The only one worthy of praising oneself. He wanted to be known. And that's why it's easy for Him to bring something from nothing. To bring treasures from ruins. To raise up those who are lost to be found. To take us from darkness to light. To take us from the lowest to the highest. It's very easy for Him. If that's what you seek. So we're asking Allah Almighty for forgiveness here and after. Woman, Allah Tawfiq al-Fatih. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salamu ala karul muslimin Muhammad nabiyyi wa ahlihi wa sahbihi ajma'in wa ahlihi wa sahbihi ajma'in amma ba'd. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, wa lillahi alhamd. Allah Almighty says in Quran, Alif Lam Mim, these are the verses of the wise book, a guide and a mercy to the doers of good, those who establish regular prayer and give regular charity and have in their hearts the assurance of the hereafter. These are on true guidance from their Lord, and these are the ones who will prosper. But there are among men those who purchase idle tales without knowledge of or meaning to mislead men from the path of Allah and throw ridicule on the path. For such there will be a humiliating penalty. When our signs are rehearsed to such a one, he turns away in arrogance, as if he heard them not, as if there were deafness in both his ears, announced to him a grievous penalty. For those who believe and work righteous deeds, there will be gardens of bliss. To dwell therein, the promise of Allah is true, and He is exalted in power wise. Sadaqallahu Azim, Allah speaks the truth. So those who turn a deaf ear to guidance, this is not what they seek. But they will get what they seek. They are seeking the hellfire. And the hellfire is what they will receive. And if we seek the hellfire is what we will receive. Don't be cheated by this world. No one takes a penny out this world. Don't be hung up and treated by and cheated by position or money or things. Allah wants us to be happy, but He says, don't forget me, and I won't forget you. You could be the greatest thing that ever walked this earth if you keep the balance. Allah will brag on you. Allah will raise you. And Allah will do things through you you never could imagine in the eons and eons of centuries of being in existence. It's easy for Allah. Allah will make your way to paradise blissful, easy. Put the dunya at your feet, it'll be your horse. You live in two worlds. You live in this world and the next world while you're in this world. You'll be able to go to the next world and visit and move around and come back to this world. You forever. As long as this is here. Then once this is finished, you're there. Allah says similitudes, I give you similitudes. So Allah said this here so we may understand and recognize ourselves when we leave this self. Don't be foolish. Listen and obey those who ask no reward from us. They are on true guidance from their Lord. And Allah says it's those who will prosper. We must ask Allah Almighty, especially during this month of Shaban, oh Allah, please save us from that we fear. What do we fear? We fear Shaitan. We fear him. And that's why he controls us. Through our envy, through our jealousy, through our anger, through our pride, through our stubbornness. These are his characteristics. We take on his characteristics because we fear him. We fear not to act like him. Acting a fool in front of Allah Almighty. Acting a fool in front of the prophets. Acting a fool in front of those whom Allah Almighty sends to guide us. What a foolish people we have become. Because we are seeking hell. We're seeking hell. And the only way that we can get out, if Allah Almighty bless us by sending one of them to us. Just one. And if we're lucky enough to recognize, that is a special favor, to recognize guidance. Guidance always comes in the person of someone. Ask your Lord, where's that guidance? Don't use your eyes. Don't use your physical being. Use a part of you that knows your Lord in yourself, that recognizes your Lord wherever, and can see Shaitan in you and outside of you. Use those eyes. Then you will seek what Allah Almighty has planned for you. And all things will be given unto you. And you will be happy. You will be happy here and hereafter. وَمَا اللَّهُ تَوْفِيقَ الْفَاتِحَةِ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ مَالِكِ يَوْمِ الدِّينِ إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ اهْدِنَا الصِّرَاطَ الْمُسْتَقِيمَ صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين